Hi guys, Asmo here, and today I have for you a very fun and profitable mapping strategy which I am running to finish up my headhunter. I currently am waiting for a bunch of my stuff to sell. I have like word loop boots that I crafted, lots of other stuff. There's basically like over 100 divs of value to sell here, and I'm waiting for it all to sell. So I decided I'm gonna do some mapping and I'm gonna create a strategy that is gonna feel good. And this strategy is really nice. You can see here in my inventory, this is loot from one of those maps. This is basically like a random example of an average map that you're gonna be getting. You're getting a tons of stuff that actually is worth something. We've got the Fortunate card, which gives you 2 divine orbs after you collect 12 of them. This is fairly low tier map. It's fairly consistent. Low tier div card, I mean, it's fairly consistent. We got like Ornate incubators, Geomancers incubators, we got stack decks, we got a bunch of good stuff that you're gonna be dropping, whole emblems. You're gonna be dropping a lot of good shit. So what is this strat exactly? First, I'm going to talk about the Atlas. So I'm going to talk about the Atlas tree and what we are picking in terms of the strategies. Then I'm going to talk about the setup that we have for the juice and how we are juicing the maps. And then at the end, I'm going to also show you an example map so that you can see the exact map that I got this loot from. You're going to see the map, how it looks like and what we're doing in it and how it works. The one requirement I would say for this is to have a build with good clear, good coverage. So you need like big AoE, lots of chains, so things like Arc Ignite, EK Ignite, which is what I'm playing, things like Tornado Shot, something that has a big coverage. Even you could even play things like ED Contagion, and that would be also good. As long as you can comfortably clear legions, you're gonna be completely fine. If like legions and Harbies and Harvest, if that's a content that is like easy for your build, this is gonna be a really good strategy for you. So let's start with the Atlas. We are speccing into 3 main mechanics. Number 1 mechanic is going to be Harvest. So for Harvest, we are forcing it with a Sextant, so we are skipping the chance for Harvest to spawn, but we are picking everything that can give us more juice. So a Bumper Crop, that's additional chance for extra Harvest in your Harvest. Then we got a chance to spawn additional monsters and extra XP, chance to duplicate your Life Force, and also here we've got a chance for the crop not to wilt, an extra chance to have a tier 4 plant. So this is what we're doing for Harvest. Then second main mechanic that we're investing in is Legion. For Legion, we're picking basically everything except for except for this. So this is the generals. We don't want more generals. They take long time to kill, especially when you have shitty single target like my build. So I don't pick the generals, and they also don't drop good loot. Like, just better to get extra sergeant with like stack decks or raw currency. And then we also don't pick this thing, Protracted Battle. Only pick this if your build really struggles with legions, and if you're like killing them too slow, you're not doing enough damage, then you could pick that. But this is going to increase the duration of your legions by 40%, which is going to mean that if you are missing one mob that's sitting somewhere in the corner hiding, you don't know where that mob is, you cannot break the legion, you have to wait for the whole duration 40% longer, so that's going to slow you down. Only pick this if your build is struggling. But those are the mechanics. So we got here also the Legion encounters spawn extra sergeants, chances for extra legion encounters, because this is giving you additional legions. So we are forcing 3 guaranteed legions with a Rusted Scarab, with the Sextant, and also with the map device, and then we can have a chance for 4th one, which very often appears in the maps, especially since we're boosting the chance by blocking all of the other league mechanics. So I'm blocking everything else except for Delirium. The only thing I'm keeping up is the Sacred Grove and the Legion encounters, as well as the Delirium. And then the third mechanic, that is the third main mechanic that we're doing, is going to be the Harbingers. Harbingers drop Fractured Shards, for example, which are very expensive. I dropped 4 Fractured Shards in a one single map, so you can drop also with these nodes full currency items instead of the shards. So if you drop the Fractured Orb, that's like 7 divines. So we get like a jackpot that we can hit, where you get like extra dopamine rush, where you get big loot that sells super easy, super liquid currency. It's very nice to do. It takes very few passives on this. The Scarabs are very cheap. The Sextants are very cheap, and it doesn't take long to do if your build is good. If your build is like mine, you're playing like some kind of Ignite Proliv or some kind of a Dot, something with big AoE, then the Harbingers are gonna be super quick. They are very fast, and you can do them at the same time as you're clearing Legion. Very often, I'm gonna ignore the Harbinger, and I'm just gonna open Legion that's nearby, and I'm gonna clear that Legion, and while I'm clearing it, I have to do it twice, right? Because first we have to break the Legion, and then we have to kill the monsters. So while I'm doing that, I'm also killing the nearby Harbingers, And in a map like Dunes, it's all packed together, so it's very easy to do. I definitely recommend that. Doesn't cost that much and it's really nice. And then the fourth mechanic we're using is altars. So we're using the blue altars with the Eldritch Gaze, basically just picking everything that has quant. Extra quant is going to help us for the harvest. We're going first toward, first we're clearing the map, then we're going to the harvest, and we're getting extra quant for extra life force. It really applies and it really gives you a lot of extra juice. And then also, other than that, we have a chance for a divine, like for div shrine, or like div altar, but that is something very, very rare, and even without that, this is still completely fine. The extra quantity is going to help you find more currency. It's going to help you find more divination cards that give you currency, so it's totally fine, even if we don't get lucky. Next thing that we have here is map sustain. So we've got the shaping here, shaping of the mountains, shaping of the skies, and here we've got shaping the world. So this is for extra map sustain, because we want to sustain our favorite maps as much as possible. And then we also have the sulfite tech. So the sulfite tech costs only 3 points, and we're getting lots of benefit from that. First of all, we're getting up to +3 to max elemental res, increased movement speed, increased damage. Whenever you're picking up the sulfite in your maps, you're getting these bonuses, stacks up to 3 or 4 times, and this is really, really nice. And then we got also the mining byproduct. So whenever you're clicking them, you're getting the sulfite, but also you have 10% chance to get extra azurite that is equal to the value of the sulfite you will be getting. So this is an additional way to get the extra azurite without going to the delve mine, and then you can buy your own resonators, or just you can use them or sell them, whatever you like. But after like a farming session, you're gonna have extra a div or two of resonators, and that's very, very nice. Costs very few points, takes very little time, and also we're gonna get lots of divination cards that give you alterations. So you're gonna be able to supply your own alterations for whatever you want to be crafting, like flasks or whatever else. So this is basically the Atlas. This one requires 124 points, so I didn't really do any bosses. So this is what we're gonna have after you clear the Atlas, get the watchstones, and maybe clear like 1 or 2 invitations or something, like clear the Maven stuff, right? And that's all you need basically. So 124 points, you don't need all of the stuff. In terms of the favorite maps, I'm favoriting Dunes, mostly Dunes with 1 beach and 1 mesa. Mesa is adjacent to this. All 3 of those maps are dropping this card, right? So the Fortunate. If you want to know which maps drop this exactly, you can go to POE look at tags. When you find the tab with the tags for maps, I think it's like sunny forest area or something right like that. Every map with that will drop this card, and that includes the mesa, the dunes, and the beach. So those are really, really good maps to run this season. So let's talk about now the juice. The Atlas is going to be in the description, so you're going to be able to just copy from the link in the description. Now let's look at the juicing. So we got the maps, roll them however you like, whatever your build can handle without bricking them up. And then also we are using the first of all, compass for Harbinger. That's going to give you extra currency shards and extra Harbinger by the boss, which for my build is very helpful because I need chain to do double damage with the Gloomfang, and that's going to give me extra targets other than the Hydrosphere, so the bosses actually die easier, and I get to do something else other than just sit and kill the boss very slowly because my build has shitty single target damage. So by the time I kill the boss, the Harbies are also killed roughly at the same time, so I'm not wasting any time. This is very, very nice for this strategy. Then we've got the maps contain additional legion, of course, because we're stacking a bunch of legions. Charged compass for the duplication of the life force in your harvest. It doesn't matter which color, it can be blue, it can be purple, it can be yellow. They are roughly the same price right now. The yellow is gonna go up in price later, but for now they're roughly the same price. Then we have the Sacred Grove, which allows us to force the Sacred Grove without any other requirements. We're just like slapping this, and we get Sacred Grove in every map, and that's how we are making a bunch of our currency. You can see here we got like 30k of the yellow force, right? So I've been using a lot of them as well throughout this league, but I'm just farming this and I'm gonna sell a lot of it in bulk. Then we are also, where's my juice? Okay, then we've got also the scarabs, so you can run divination scarab. I recommend just running the rusted divination scarab, very cost efficient. Rusted legion, rusted sulfite, and then polished harbinger. The gilded harbinger is like 3 times more expensive than the polished one, and it gives you only 1 extra harbie, so for 25, like 3 times the price, 25% increase of harbies, not worth at all. So I'll just run the polished one unless the prices change, and just run this setup like you see in most of this. I just had some better scarabs that I farmed myself, so I'm using them as well. And that's basically it when it comes to this setup. On the map device, you're just gonna be basically picking up the ether you're gonna be grabbing the Legion as well, and then for the missions you don't need anything. If you want, you can drop the Niko. You can like run Niko missions and run some other Scarab, but there's really nothing else that really benefits this strategy that much. And what you're selling, what are you finding from these are gonna be emblems. Emblems are very cheap right now, but you can reroll them with Harvest, and you can basically get a bunch of full sets. Once you have like a lot of sets, let's say you have like 10 full sets, you can sell them in bulk to people who run 5 ways. So that's one of the currency drops that we're getting. This is not that much money actually that we're going to be getting. They're fairly cheap right now, but this is something that just adds up to everything else, right? Another thing is going to be a bunch of the fortunate cards. So almost every map I'm dropping one, sometimes dropping 2 or 3. Then we got also the incubators. So the good incubators that I have right now are the diviners, the geomancers, the Kalguron, and the Ornate, right? So these are the ones that I am running. I'm hiding every single one on the filter. I actually made an update to my filter, which I posted on my Patreon. So if you're interested in using the same filter as me with all the custom sounds and customizations, it's very well tailored for this strategy. So you can check out my Patreon. Link is gonna be in the description below. But basically, I recommend that you just, whatever filter you're using, hide the incubators that you don't need, keep these 4, and you're always gonna have something good to run. And they are very consistently giving you very liquid, easy stuff to sell. So this is gonna give you the currency for the for these guys, right? For the, what is it called, expedition, right? And so these guys are gonna give you expedition currency. This is gonna give you raw currency. The 85 especially are gonna give you a lot of divines, 6 links, and also stack decks. Stack decks sell very, very easily. 100 for a divine, super liquid currency. So that's another way we are making money. We're just dropping this in maps as well. What else are we getting? We're getting just raw currency, as you can see, like a bunch of scours, bunch of chaos, a bunch of alterations, right? So this is just stuff that we're dropping in maps as well. We're dropping some scarabs as well. Every now and then you're gonna have good rares. The reason why I'm going for a headhunter first is because this strategy, and this is what I wanted to run, I just wanted to try legions this league, is spawning a lot of rare monsters, and with that comes sometimes like these jackpot monsters that give you like 20 maps or 15 scarabs just from one monster. So sometimes you're gonna find really a nice like lottery wins like that. Sometimes you also get like a delirium mirror, right, which also is gonna give you some cluster jewels. So this is another thing that we're going to be doing. You're going to be finding a bunch of maps, although the maps are not that great. So you could potentially run Niko missions and replace the Sulfite Scarab for a Cartography Scarab. That's another good replacement. And then you're going to be finding also just like a bunch of uniques and random other crap that drops. There is a pretty good amount of loot that drops because of the blue altars, and we're picking the quantity. We're spawning a lot of rare monsters. So we're just dropping a lot of stuff. And that's basically this strategy. I think it's pretty fun to run. It's pretty profitable as far as like strategy goes. It's not that much of an investment. The biggest investment is going to be definitely the compasses, but once you buy the compasses, they return their cost, and they make the map more fun. They make basically the loot that you're getting consistent and guaranteed, and just allow you to reinvest into your maps and just get more and more currency, and eventually just sell tons of stuff in bulk and get rich. So that's what I'm doing. You're gonna see now footage from the map where I looted all of this stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.